remind me to record. Okay. Use the normal distribution of IQ scores, which has a mean of 100 and standard. What did I tell you when you saw those words? What do you do when you see those words? Draw a picture. So go ahead and draw the picture. So So 110, 128, right? And 100 and what, 46? And I have no idea this way. 110 minus 118. What is it? 92. You tell me if that's right. 92 minus 18? Huh? Okay, now that's done. For the standard scores and percentiles for normal distribution, find the indicated quantity. So here, this is X. X bar is equal to 110, and S is equal to 18. That's all you need. Now, let's put a red mark at 128 so we can do some common sense. At 128, it's right here. Well, that's the same thing as one standard deviation. So by the empirical rule, you can tell me that that's what? Well, 2.5. 13.5, 34, and 34, which is 68 plus 16, which is what? 84. So by common sense and the empirical rule, we know our answer is going to be around what?
60%.
What did you say, 80 what? Or 128, is that how many percent?
6.
No.
Higher than 128.
I'm not asking you the answer. Okay? Listen to my question. Where is 128? At what percentage? From the left. From what percentage? Add these up. 84%. Okay? Because the table is not going to give you to the right, it's going to give you to the left. So you're using this as a little bit of common sense. Okay? By the empirical rule, we're talking about 84%. But, please don't use the now, we need to change this to a z-score. So that would be 128 minus what? 110 over what? 18, which comes out to be 18 over 18, which is 1. So we go to our table, because it doesn't say use the empirical rule. It says use the table. So we pull up the table. Pull up our handy dandy table right here, and I'll show you how to do it on the calculator too. And find a z-score of 1. You found it? It's right here. 84.13%. So, by the z-score, by the z-test, which means the left-hand side, because the table only gives you the left-hand side. What does this say right here? Cumulative values from the what? Left. So, all of this, we've got 84 with common sense, but with mathematical precision, we've got 84 point what? 0.13. Now, there's a rule in statistics that if you want to find the complement on a curve, or you want to find the other side, because why do we want to find the other side? The other side is represented right here. The other side is represented by that statement, greater than. Greater than means right-hand side. Greater than means right-hand side. And the right-hand side is equal to 1 minus what? The left-hand side. Write that down. So, if this side, the red side, is 84.13%, I'm sorry, we're in percentages. This book doesn't do it the correct way. This is the only probability book that does not do z-scores in terms of 0.84. It changes it to 84 because y'all don't have sense enough to realize that 0.84 is 84%. So it changes it to 84% because anybody that takes this course is an idiot. Okay? So they dummy it down and make it 84, so you have to change this 1 to a what? 100. It's the only book I've ever seen it done that way. So change that to 100. Miss Brissy, you may remember 1. Okay? When you, I have class, can you just sit and wait? Yeah. Okay. So, and when you took 120, Miss Brissy, it was 1 minus the left-hand side. So, in this course, y'all don't have sense enough to realize that, so you have to take it away from 100. All right. So, take 100 minus 84.13, and you get 15.87? So, what is the percentage of students that scored above 128? 15 point what? 15.87. What did you say?
That was my answer, and it said I was wrong.
You probably typed in 0.1587 because you're used to 120.
Well, she's got the. Oh, maybe that's the right answer.
No, it is the right.
That is the right answer. I bet you typed in 0.1587.
Something. No.
And that's the reason. Let's look and see so we can make fun of you.
No. Oh, wait. I answered it like 10 times.
Okay. Well, I bet your first answer was 0.1587. And that's why, and that's okay because in 98% of your probability and statistics classes, you're dealing with you're 4 digits. You're not dealing with 84.13. It would be 0.8413. In 99% of your Math 120 class or your probability and statistics classes, this is unheard of. You would say 0.8413. And you would subtract it from 1, which would be 0.1587. And I bet you that's what you got for your first answer because you had it in 120. Okay? All right, who's got a question? Now take calculators out. And if I can remember it, because I don't use a calculator that much. Let's see. Dang old. It'll take me a minute. Just give me a minute. It's math. Nope. Second bars. There it is. I think it's normal CDF. Let me try it and see. Because I can't ever remember between PDF and CDF. Let me try it first. From 128, what was it? 1 to infinity. 1 to 99999, close parentheses, enter. Is that what we got? 0.1586? Is that what we got? That's all right. You don't have to tell me. It's just a yes or no question. I'll look it up. Don't interact. That's fine. I'll look it up. That's fine. I can't even find it now. I think I erased it. But I appreciate y'all's interaction. It always helps to make the class go by faster when you sit there like a bump on the log. 0.1587. I hope that's what we got. So how do you do it? Second vars, number 2, and then type in left to right. You start at what? 1, and you go to what? Infinity. So you can put 4 nines, you put 5 nines, you put 3 nines. Don't put 2 nines because that's not enough for it to get an accurate. Close parentheses and enter.
You said normal CDF?
Normal CDF, yes. Now make sure you move the decimal place to the right 2 times because this is not, you gotta have it in percentage, so that means you move it 2 places. It's the only class that I teach that you have to do that. 15.87%. Now, what if I wanted to find below? What if I wanted to find the left? Well, what's on the left side? Negative infinity. So I'd do normal, or second vars, normal CDF, and then I'd go negative 9999, comma, and then 1, close parentheses. And it should give me my 86%, or 84%, sorry, 84.13. So that's how you use your calculator. Now I wanted to show you that because some of y'all want to use your calculator so bad you can't stand it. Well, there you go. All right, question on that? No question. Everybody, I just went over it so well that nobody has any questions. Okay. Y'all ain't going to answer me anyway. Y'all just going to sit there. I don't like classes like this. Y'all need to talk. 6C, 25-6. So this is number 25 in the book, number 6 online. All right, write that one down. The set of data is normally distributed with a mean of 150 and a standard deviation of 20. Draw a picture. $150 and $170 and $190 and $130 and $110. Okay, so that takes care of that. We're going to write it down. X bar is equal to 150. S is equal to 20. Now, as far as the question, that tells me to draw a picture. Okay, that's what that first sentence tells me. Now, convert 150 to a z-score. Well, somebody tell me what that z-score is going to be. Common sense empirical rule. What is it going to be? Well, what's in the middle of the graph of z-scores?
The average.
No.
Sorry.
Z-score. What's the middle number for the z-score table? Starts with a z.
0.
Remember? 1, 2, -1, -2. So when we do our math, we should get what? 0. So let's do it. 150, that's our x. The x is what they're asking for. So given / want. In other words, they're wanting to know the z-score for 150. If that was 175, they'd say convert 175 to a z-score. So x is equal to 150. Therefore, x minus x bar is 150 minus 150 over 20, which is 0. So that should be your z-score. And you feel good about yourself. No, that's what the fantastic is for.
Yeah. Sometimes it says good job.
Sometimes it says super. All right, next question. 6C 29/8. 29/8. Find the standard score and use the table below to find the percentile for a data value 3.0 standard deviations above the mean. Okay. Okay, see this word right here? Make a note. That means z-score, pretty much. Okay. Now, they give you a z-score of 3. So, is it positive or negative? It's positive. So, you go over here. And what is the number for 3? Well, the standard score is 3. It's going to be the same thing. This is a stupid question. Not that you ask it. The way the question's written is stupid. I think you said that. One of y'all said that. Okay? Okay, now, what's the z-score? That corresponds to 3.0. 99.87. This is one of those questions that they screw up. It's an easy question, but they screw it up and make it hard because it's such an easy question. Not you, but the way they've got it written. What they should say is find the percentage for the z-score of 3.0. That's what it should say. But you got some people writing these questions that either hadn't graduated college yet, or they graduated college but it wasn't in education. So they don't know how to ask questions. Okay? Question. Did that help you? Notice I didn't draw a picture. Well, it didn't give me a mean and a what? Standard deviation. All right. So that takes care of the homework questions. Since I only got 3, that means we can go on to the what? Go on to the test. Now I'll pull it up. Let's see if it's on the calendar. Oh, look at that. There's a piece of paper. Wonder what it says. Hubert's Unit 1 test. Available. Wonder what this piece of paper. Oh, this is a clock. What does it say? Due. Wow. Why am I being facetious? Because somebody in this class will email me this week and ask me what? Yep. And I'll say, I have no earthly idea. Or I don't respond. Now let's look what happens when you pull up the test. It tells you this is your Unit 1 test. You have 31 questions. Now I'm either going to take one off or I'm going to add 2 more. Okay? I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll do that right after class. Look, it tells you when it's due, so you could say, well, I've got a few more days, I can wait. And it tells you what? How many attempts? It says you have 90 minutes. Can you see how many questions are answered right there? At least 3 or 4 questions. You hit Start Test. Now, the reason it does not go straight to the test is because there's some people that will take a Unit 1 test during a lightning storm. Now, what's wrong with taking an online test during a lightning storm? Wow, you're so smart. You know how many times a semester I get students taking a test during a lightning storm? At least 5 or 6 a semester. If the trees are wet and bending over like this and the sky is lighting up, don't take the test. Start test. And here we go. Do this one. Use the normal distribution of IQ scores, which has a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 16. What does that mean? Draw a picture. In the following table with the standard score and percentiles for the normal distribution, find the indicated quantity. We just did the one like this, but we'll do it again. So do it. Percentage of scores greater than 110. Now that number will change. That number will change, the 110 will change, and the 16 will change. And y'all may be doing the same problem. No, that's not going to happen, because your number 1 may look like her number 16. Her number 16 may look like your number 5, if you even get the same questions. Now, how do I do that? There's 30 questions on this test. Well, there's 20-something questions on this test, because I got 10 of the bonus questions on it. For every one of those 20 questions, I've got about 6 or 8 questions to pull from. You see what I'm saying? And I have those 20 questions in a different order, and I have them randomized to change numbers. So, 1, are you going to get a test in the same order as somebody else? No. Are you going to get a test with the same numbers as somebody else? No. Are you going to get the same test as somebody else exactly as far as the questions go? No. All right? There's 3 different ways I'm scrambling this test up. All right? So if you want to sit beside somebody in the computer lab and help them, that's fine. But if you're helping somebody, what's that going to cut into? Your what? Your time. So it's up to you. All right, so draw a picture. Y'all got tired of drawing these pictures yet?
I'm just tired, period.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you like I tell my son, get more sleep.
I'm about to go do that.
Because time waits for no what? Time waits for no man. That's what the saying. It means everybody. Okay, so don't get offended because I said man, all right? Okay, here we go. 110, 126, and what? 132? 142. And give me this side. I think we did one like this one. I'm sorry, what? Thank you. And it says more than what? 110. Okay, well, by the empirical rule, you can tell me that it's what? 50%. Empirical rule says 50%. And the empirical rule is more like a rough estimate. Okay? So now we need to do the actual math. So, we got to find this z-score. We know this z-score is going to be 0, but we got to find it. Okay, so 110 minus 110 over 16, and that's 0 over 16, which is 0. So we do have a z-score of 0. So somebody take your calculator and do do the normal CDF from 0 to what? 999. Tell me what you get. Or, those that don't have a calculator, just hold on, calculator people. Those that don't have a calculator, click on the table and tell me what 0 is. Whoa, sorry. What is 0? 50%. So what does the calculator say? Which is 50%. So there is no way in Hades you're going to get this problem wrong if you got these numbers. If you get this problem wrong with these numbers, 110, 16, and 16, 110, 116, and 110, don't tell anybody you missed it. Okay? So yeah, I got that one right. Yeah, I got it. Because if you tell anybody you got this one wrong, they're going to look at you cross-eyed and say, okay, and they're going to back away slowly, thinking that something might rub off on them. Okay?
That's not what I want to calculate it.
Should have 0.49999,
Okay, yeah.
which is 50 cents, which is half a dollar. 50%. Question. All right, so we put in 50 because we want to make 100 on this test. So we put in 50. Now remember that percentage is there, so you got to change the 0.49 to 50. Next question. We got a bonus question. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? 2 emails last semester at the end of classes. 2 emails after they had taken 4 tests with this question on it. 2 emails. Or do you replace the lowest grade with the final exam? Never did reply. Which one is it? It's the only one that has contextual sense. Next. Another one. These are supposed to be scrambled up, but sometimes they go right behind each other. In My Labs Plus, upon completion of all assignments, the grade book will give me my final grade. You can't put contempt because contempt, I don't know what it is, adverb or something. It's got to have something after it. Huh? Will give me a coconut. Grammatically, it doesn't work, so you can't pick coconut because it doesn't work grammatically.
You put an S on coconuts.
Yeah, yeah. Next. All right, do this one. What is a standard score? It's a Z-score, but what it does is it levels the playing field for everybody. It compares 2 groups that usually can't be compared. Men versus women, presidents versus basketball players, apples versus oranges. It compares 2 different groups. And I'm sorry if this offends you, but there is a difference between a male and a female. Okay? I ain't even going there. The standard score is a data value that lies within 1 standard deviation of the mean. That don't sound right. Because standard scores, you can go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can't say it falls within 1 standard deviation. So that one doesn't sound right. The standard score is a data value equal to the mean. Well, yeah, 0 is equal to the mean, but that don't sound right. A standard score is the distance between the the data value, and the nearest outlier. What's an outlier got to do with the standard score? A standard score is a number of standard deviations the data value lies above or below the mean.
Sounds good.
I think D sounds good. Oh my gosh. Can y'all do this? Well, X minus X bar. How many things are in the numerator? Which one of these things just don't belong here? That's Sesame Street for some of y'all that don't know that. Which one has 2 things in the numerator?
The last one.
Okay, so that's non-mathematical. Another one that if you miss. Next. When is the last day of classes for this semester? Think B.
In theory, Judgment Day could be correct.
Huh?
In theory, Judgment Day.
Excuse me, but Judgment Day is in the Terminator, okay? I can't say Bible, so we can't say that.
Why?
Yeah. Shh. You're not supposed to think. Okay, next. Consider the following set of 3 distributions. What? What's so funny?
The first thing she asked me was this question.
Oh,
I was like, okay.
Consider the following set of 3 distributions, all of which are drawn to the same scale. Identify the 2 distributions that are normal. One of the 2 distributions has a larger variation. Let's worry about which one is normal. A and B. What is this? That's skewed right. All the data is on the left. So this one don't work. So the 2 normal distributions are A and B. All right. Now think about this. If your standard deviation is 5, and your mean is 100, so that'd be 100, 105, 110, and you had a standard deviation of 20, that'd be 120, 140, 160. So what would happen if the standard deviation was longer or I just told you. What would happen to the curve if the standard deviation was larger? It would what? It would spread out and get longer. So which one has the longer standard deviation? B. Now, a lot of people say this is a trick question. No, it's not. It's a question to make you what?
Not reading it.
Huh?
They're just not reading it.
Yeah, they're not reading it, but it's a question. It's a question to make the student actually what? Think. Okay? And what happens is you're so hyped on doing math and math and math, when you get to this question, it's kind of like, you sit there and go, and smoke comes out of your ears because you're used to doing math. Okay? So it's also meant to give you a few points. Where is all of Hubert's homework and tests done? Kitchen. I'll tell you the kitchen. Online via My Labs Plus. Now I can't put this on here now because I have in-class tests that I have to give you. But that's where all of my homework and stuff is done. Okay, here we go. A set of data normally, what does that mean? You gotta draw what? Draw a picture. Now this one we have not done yet. And I knew we haven't done it, but I knew we'd cover it on the test. So that's why I just put it off to last. A set of data items is normally distributed with a mean of 60 and a standard deviation of 8. Convert 60 to a z-score. Okay, it's not the one I thought it was. Okay. Convert 60 to a z-score. So you don't have to draw a picture. You just have to put it in the formula. I thought this was another question where you have to switch it around and give me the test score. So X is what? 60 minus 60 over 8. Heck, I'm giving y'all some easy questions today. I'll have to go in and change the difficulty. See, I can do that. If I don't like you, I give you all hard questions. I'm kidding y'all. I wouldn't do that. Next question. Okay, draw a picture, 587 and 159. That's the mean and standard deviation. And y'all gonna have to give me, because I ain't that good. I ain't gonna try to add those numbers up in my head. So y'all add them up and subtract them for me. Okay, 587. And what's this one?
700.
746.
7 what?
746.
And what's this one? And the left side?
428.
428.
269.
269. Check them and make sure. All right. Oh my gosh, 627. We don't have a 627 on the bottom. So we should quit and go to the next question, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do, quit. When the tough gets going, quit. So here's 627. So let's do some interpolation here. Somebody give me the difference between 747. Well, we know it's what? 159, 160. Half of 160 is 80, right? So the middle would be 667. Somebody check me. That should be the middle. All right, we need 627. So 627 would be which direction? Would be to the left, right in here. Okay, I'll put it right in here. 627. Now let's use our empirical rule here. Somebody tell me what 667 is at. Well, that would be, I'm going to take I don't know if I can do this or not. Let me try it. Real thin. I'm going to use this yellow so you can't hardly see it. I'm not using the yellow to strain your eyes. I'm using the yellow so you won't see it, okay? 2.5 13.5, 34, and what's half of 34? 17, Hubert. Thank you, class. Now 17 and 34 is 51, 51 and 16 is 67. Somebody help me out.
Wait, what'd you ask?
I don't forgot. 51 and 16.
67.
So the 667 is around what? 667 is around, what'd y'all say?
67.
I added these up. What did you get?
Was that the 67?
Yeah,
Was it 67%?
Yeah, 67. Yeah.
67%?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, by the empirical rule and by common sense and rough looking at it, we know that 667 is about half. So half of what? Half of 13 is 7. 7, or 17, sorry, half of 34 is 17. And then I added them up. So 667 is at 67%. So somebody give me an estimate of what we think the answer is going to be. Maybe 65% or 64%? Maybe? Why? Because 227 is to the left, maybe as low as 60%. I don't know. We know it's less than 67%. And you need to do that when you're doing these problems so you don't put a stupid number like 500 up there or something, or 500% or something stupid. You need to put it in context. Now, do your z-score. What is your z-score? Well, we go over here and we say 627 minus, thank you, 587.
Priority 1 message
Over
on secure channel.
159, and somebody, what is that? Dang old 440
Oh, yeah, 40.
over 159. Somebody give me 2 digits. Point what?
2000.
0.25. Okay, well now we know that what is 13 divided by, well, try to make 627 is going to be right in here. It's going to be half of 7. Because that's a half right there, so 0.25 is going to be right there. So we know 7, what's half of 17? 9? Yeah, 9 or 8, whichever one you want to use. What's 9 and 34? 42? 42 plus 16 is what? 58? Yes? No? Maybe? 58? So I think this is going to be somewhere around 58%. So let's see what it comes out to be. Somebody take your handy dandy calculator and go from which one? They want above or what? Yeah, above. Okay, so that changes everything. What's 58 from 100? 42. So I think it's going to be 42%, somewhere around 42%. Okay, so take your handy dandy calculator and do from 0.25 to what? 999. Those of you who don't have a calculator, we'll pull it up. And we'll pull up the handy dandy table. And somebody find 0.25. I can't. There it is. 59.87. Okay, I said 58%. So I think that's going to be close. So somebody take 59.87 away from 100. What do you get?
40.43.
Is that what you got? And I got 42. So 40 point what? Is that correct?
Okay. Yes.
What?
I'm trying to think of my question.
How did I get 41.3?
Well, I guess I'm confused because I thought that we would have to, I know it doesn't make any sense, that's why I didn't say the word, but why don't we have to do 100 minus 40?
Why don't we have what?
Why don't we have to do 100 minus 40.13? Because we wanted to find I don't know.
Okay, because in all the 120 books, in all the statistics books, the area is given and the z-scores are given in decimals of 2 places, okay? This book puts it in terms of percentage. So instead of subtracting from 1 like you did in 120, you subtract it from 100. Now, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can subtract it from 100, or you can change the percentage into 0.4013 and subtract it from 1. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. But you got to put it in terms of percent because this book is stupid. Okay? Next. Okay, empirical rule. We did this yesterday. The last day y'all were here, we did this. So draw a picture. $100, $105, $110, $95, and $90. The percentage of scores less than 100. What is it? 50%. Percentage of scores greater than 105. 13.5 and 16%. The percentage of scores between 90 and 105. $34, $34, 13.5. So that's going to be 68, 81.5. Somebody check me. Huh?
Yeah, 81.
Okay, I put this one on there just to give you points. Because is there any math involved? Any mechanical math? No mechanical math. You just have to look at it. And if you don't know the empirical rule, I'm sorry, the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, because y'all don't know what the word empirical, you don't know how to spell it. So they have to put it in terms of numbers. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. 81.5. And next question. All right. The histogram to the right shows the times between eruptions, blah, 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 blah. Over the histogram, draw a smooth curve. Then classify the distribution along to its number of peaks and its symmetry or skewness. Well, technically you can say it's symmetrical, can't you? If you put a line right through here. Doesn't this side look like this side? Pretty much. And it has 3 peaks. You could say it has 1 peak. But it's not what? It's not right skewed, so D is out. Okay? Low variation is out because what are these things doing? They're going all over the place. So low variation is out. Does it have 2 peaks? No. So what am I doing? What's this called? Process of elimination. So I think the answer is what? A. Next question. If a student does not complete a homework assignment or test, what grade will be recorded for that assignment? This is for those people that email me after everything's closed out and say, my grade dropped. Reckon why their grade dropped? Mainly because they skipped homework assignments. Because y'all all know there's students out there that don't need to what? I don't need to do the homework. It's 20% of your what? 20% of your total grade. So you can go from a A to a what? C. Pretty much. Or B, sorry. A to a B. 100, go down to a B. Okay, this one's a pain. So I'm just going to do it on the spreadsheet. It's not a pain. It takes up a few minutes. I'm going to copy it in the Excel spreadsheet. What's the first thing you do with these numbers? Put them in order. So I'm going to take my handy dandy thing and I'm going to put them in order. And if you want to write them down, you can write them down now. I'll make them a little bit bigger for you as soon as I put them in order. There. Make them a little bit bigger for you. There. Let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. Just want to know how many there were. Okay. Now the classes. Where's the heck question? There it is. All right, here are the classes. Y'all need to write them down because I'm going to have to ask you. 70 to 74. I'll just do. They're going bass backwards. Well, no, they're not. Okay, 70, 74, and then 75 should be 79, is it? And 80, yes, Hubert, it is. 80 to 84. Thank you, class. 85 to 90. I'm sorry, 89. 90 to 95 or 94. And then 95 to 99. Is that as high as it goes? All right, this is going to be F, meaning your head count. You can stand for stuff to be there. Okay, so here we go. Let's count. 70 to 74. We'll color that yellow. And 70 to 74 will be right there, 2. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. 3. Okay, 75 to 79, we'll color that blue. 75 to 79 is 2. 80 to 84, we'll make that yucky looking orange. 80 to 84 is 2. 85 to 89, dang old Verde. 85 to 89, 3. 90 to 94, dang old Gray. 90 to 94, 4. And 95 to 99, color that. Which color has that nasty looking orange there? How many is that? 6? Now they're going to ask for the relative frequency. What's the relative? Well, you just make a percentage out of each one. So what's in? I think it's 20, isn't it? Let's check it and see. So equals this number divided by what? That's 4. Okay. So let's try this. F4. There's that. Now, what should all those equal? Should equal 100. Or 1, sorry. Everything in here is bass backwards of 120. And now the cumulative data, which is pretty stupid, but what do? You take the first number and do what? You add the second number, add the third number. I'm sorry, 13, 15, 17, and what's the last one? And these two are supposed to match. Okay, so there's your numbers. Two or 6. Oh, horse pucky. Okay, what is 0.3? 30%. And 6. 4, 20, and 10. 3, 15, and 13. Y'all keep an eye and make sure I don't feel cross-eyed. 2, 10%, and 15. 2, 10%, and 17. 3, 15%, and 17, or 20. And this is 20. That's supposed to be, now it's percentages, it's 100. And add that up, what do you get?
Priority
81.
1 message coming in on secure
Which
channel.
81 really has nothing to do with anything. That's why I don't fool with the cumulative frequency that much. Capiche? Everybody got that? Now, is that a hard question? No. Is it a tedious question? Yes. So you might want to skip that one and save that one for last, or one like it. That's what I would do. When does the homework terminate? It should terminate when? Before the test starts, but I usually don't do it anymore. It's like going up the wrong tree doing that. Determine whether the data prescribed below are qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative. This is just like brunettes, redheads, and what? Blondes. This is blood types. So that would be qualitative. The score for a certain intelligence test are normally distributed. What have you got to draw? You got to draw what? Draw a picture. Find the 80th percentiles of these scores. This is the one that's backwards, I think. Yeah. This is the one I meant to show you because I knew it was going to show up. So write it down and put new question because I haven't shown you how to do it. The only way you know how to do this is if you had it before or you've done this type of question before. So you might want to highlight it so you do a couple in your homework.
Incoming message.
One of my students started a co-op today, and they just sent me a text that said, I've used completing the square twice today on my new job.
Gmail.
Thank God I had you. That was nice. She works for an environmental type place, co-oping. I hate it when your your thing says you got 2 messages and you don't. I can't find them. I will. And y'all say I'm texting while I'm not texting while y'all talking to me. I'm texting while y'all are working. All right, so we draw a picture. Y'all done? Draw a picture. $75, $86, $97. Y'all check my math. 65 be 64. Check it. That's 64. 63.
It's 64 and then 63.
53. Okay. All right. So that takes care of this. So we'll go ahead and write down X is equal to 75 and S is equal to 11. Find the 80th percentile. Well, we know this is 50% right here, right? So 80, didn't we say that this was like 80 something percent? Let's see, 2.5, 13.5, 34, and 34. If you add those up, what is this point right here? How much? 84? Okay, so let's do some interpolation. What's half of 34? 17. 17 plus 50 is what? 60 what? 67? So that's 67.
Priority 1 message coming in on
So let's
secure
do another
channel.
half, which would be a quarter. Let's do a half right here, which would be half of 17 we said was 8 or 9.
Email.
Good gosh. 8 or 9, we'll just say 9, say 8, okay? What's 8 plus, what did I say this was, 67? What's 8 plus 67? 74? 75 is right in there. 75%. So you could say that halfway through there is what? That's probably going to be 80 right in here. Everybody agree with me as far as an estimate? Okay. Now, why am I showing you to do this? Because you need to be doing this before you start. Because you need to be able to do some little bit of common sense after you get your answer and before you get your answer while you're working on it. All right, so this represents 80%. It says find the 80th percentile. Doesn't say above or below, does it? So this in here is 80, wait a minute. 80%. So it looks like they're giving us the area, but we got to find what? The z-score. And then we got to find the x. They want to know what score represents the 80th. See? Find the 80th percentile of these scores. The 80th percentile is at, and I don't know if they want us to, I'm going to do both because I want to show you how to do this. All right, so go back to your table. For those of you that have a table and you need to print one out, if if you haven't printed one out yet, you need to. It's in your book. There's the table. Where do you see a percentile of, what'd I say, 80%? Where do you see a percentile of 80%? Oh, please. There. Where do you see 80%? Okay, here are the two right here. All right, what's closer to $80? $78.81 or $80.23? $78.81 is the correct answer. Why?
Because you can't go over 80, it's not asking.
Nope. That's a good thought, but that's not. Why is 78.81 the answer?
23 is more than 19.
Exactly. 19 is the difference between here and 80. So it's closer to 80 than this is.
No, that's not right. 78 is 1.19.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 79. You were right. 80.3. There we go. I thought it was 79. I'm sorry. 80.23 is correct. And what z-score does that line up with?
0.85.
0.85. So you go back to your handy dandy picture after you get rid of all this. Really? Get rid of that. And our z-score is 0.85. Okay? Now, they may ask us for x. And I'm going to give you the formula for x, which comes from your z-score formula. Here's your z-score formula. Z is equal to x minus x bar. I'm going to give you the, I'm sorry, hold on. I'm going to give you the population because it's easier to remember when I give you the x formula. So that is x minus mu over standard deviation. Okay, that's the z-score formula. Now, if you want to find x,
Work email.
then that's going to be Oz plus mu. That's the formula that I haven't given you yet. Now, what is x? In this case, what is x? What is the word, one word name for x? It's the what?
The 80.
It's the last word over there. What's the last word of the sentence? The scores. All the x values that you get are going to be scores. All right? There's the z-score. We've got it. But what does that z-score represent as far as what? Intelligence scores. You got to find the intelligence score. Think about it. If you're working for the intelligent score people, test people, and you want to find the 80%, 0.85 is not going to tell you squat. What do you got to know? You got to find the score. So you got to find the x. So, Oz, what is the signal? Standard deviation, which is 11 times what? 0.85. And we're going to add that to what? 75. Okay? That's x score, sorry. Which is mu. So somebody crank that out. What do you get?
84.35.
So x is equal to 84 point what?
35.
Does that look right? What did we say? We said it was going to fall right below what? And it is. It's 84.35. And now what do they say? Round to the nearest whole number. So 84.35 is what? 84. Make sure you write this one down. Now there's another way you can find, give you the calculator right quick. get your calculator out for those that want to use your calculator. And if you want to find this z-score and you're given the area, which is 80%, type in second bars, inverse norm. Enter 0.8000. What is 0.8000? 80%. See, the calculator don't even recognize this book. All right? Enter 0.8416. And we got point what? 84. So use your calculator if you can. Or look at this video 2 or 3 times and practice. Main thing is, you fixing to leave? You fixing to leave? Is it? It's 12:23. Class is over at 12:35.
I'm giving you.
I know. All right, next. You can go ahead if you need to. Go ahead.
No, I just put myself on. I figured
Okay.
you were about to discuss this anyway.
No, not yet. This is a correlation. What's this correlation doing? It's a negative correlation. Negative slope. I don't know what the question's asking, but let's go back to the question. Okay, I've lost my questions. Okay. All right, well, I guess we're going to leave. I guess we're going to quit. So I just X'd out. Anyway, so remember which one we left off of. I don't know if it'll save it or not. Oh, well. I don't know what happened to it. I think I X'd out of it. I suck. All right, let me cut off the what you call it, and let me count how many people's here.